It actually feels really good out here. Like, it's hot, but since I'm like kind of sitting. No, seriously, what is that noise? She said, did y'all hear it? He said, oh my God, what's that noise? No, seriously, what is it? Hey loves, welcome back to the channel. It's Deborah here with Stewart Living, and of course the vibes are different. I'm kind of outside sitting on my front porch, and I'm just sitting right here trying to map things out, trying to plan things, trying to strategize things because okay, here's what's happening. Let me raise you up a little bit. Here's what's happening. So there's a few health things that I have going on, and I want to talk to you all about it. The first thing that is first, which I'm sure that you all have heard me talk about before, but I've never brought it like to the channel, has to deal with my I.B.S, which is irritable bowel syndrome. It's not something that, people get excited to talk about, but it's something that is real. It happens. And before I got it, I did not know anything about it. And so for years now, my stomach has kind of been doing its own thing, doing what it really wants to do. But I'm at a point now where I just want to start over, get my health on track so that I can, live a healthier life and also a stress and pain-free life regarding my I.B.S. So I have some notes here that I'm going to share with y'all just for those who are not familiar of what it is. Let me scoot over a little bit just so that I can use this side to kind of bring you all that you need to know about this. So I.B.S is an intestinal disorder causing pain in the belly, gas, diarrhea, or constipation. Now, let me just put this trigger warning, this disclaimer here. If you are not into talking about bodily fluids, if you are not into having real candid conversation, it's about time you click off the video here, because this is about real life situations that real life people go through, and it may sometimes get gory. It may not be the most politically correct or classy thing to discuss, but yeah, it's real life. So just want to put that trigger warning out there, that disclaimer. If this is not something that you're into, you can go ahead and click off right now. But yes, it's an intestinal disorder. The cause of I.B.S isn't well understood, and a diagnosis is usually made off of symptoms. So the symptoms usually include the following: abdominal pain, bloating, diarrhea, constipation. It says some people can control their symptoms by managing diet, lifestyle, and stress, and then others will need medication and counseling. I am not at the point now of doing medication or counseling. When I went to my primary care physician, she did, when she gave me my after visit summary, she did give me a recommendation to a referral. That's what it's called. She did give me a referral to a gastrointestinal doctor so that we can go on to get this, we can have multiple doctors working together to find out a plan that really suits me. Once I meet with that gastrointestinal doctor, I'll better have an understanding. But yeah, so when I originally went to the doctor, okay, let's start here. How did I first know that something was wrong? Okay, so I would, a long time ago, it has to be about 8 to 10 years by now, that I have stopped eating beef. I do not eat beef in my diet unless I eat something unknowingly that has beef in it. I do not intentionally eat beef in my diet. I also started to not eat pork as well, but now I've gone back to pork because bacon, pepperonis, pork ribs, pork sausage, like at this point. And I love chitlins, but I haven't had those in a while. Don't judge me, okay? So I had taken those out of my diet. And I was like, okay, cool. So I started, everything was cool. I was, doing well. And then, I used to love eating cheese. Like when I was a kid, and dairy products. When I was a kid, I would stand at the fridge and I would just eat butter. I would just eat cheese standing at the fridge. I ate ice cream. They would bring ice cream in the house. It was 8 of us all together. At one point, it was 14 of us in one house. Brought ice cream in the house. Deborah was going to eat up all the ice cream. When my mother made mac and cheese, I'm eating up all the mac and cheese. Like, please understand, I was in love with cheese. I was in love with dairy. But as I got older, like I started eating it, and after I ate it, I would feel so fatigued. I would feel groggy. My stomach would be toe up. Child, it's a bug. I don't plan to be out here alone because I can't. My stomach would be toe up from the flow up. Like, I would be in the bathroom like, God, just get me out of this, get me out of this. But I didn't know what was wrong, so I would go back to eating dairy, back to eating the cheese. So as I began to get older, I started to notice that, like, it wasn't just me being on the toilet anymore. Like, it was me. Like, I did not want to get out of bed. I was fatigued. When I would go to, like, I would eat something and no matter, like, it would trigger something in my stomach, and I'll be on the toilet. And so when I found myself using the restroom more and being uncomfortable and getting really bloated, like, if you see my stomach now, let me show you. That's my stomach. Exactly. And I'm going to get into this in just a second. I would get really, really bloated. And I'm not just talking about during my cycle. I mean, like, period. Like, every day I would just be bloated. And I would be uncomfortable. I would be miserable to the point where, like, if I was traveling longer distances than like 30 minutes, I would make sure that I didn't eat. Like, if I knew that I had to go somewhere and do something for the day, I would just wait to eat until I got back home. If I was traveling on flights or things like that, like, or doing a long distance car ride, I'm not eating until I get to my destination because I was so unsure of what would happen to my stomach. Like, and so I first realized that it was dairy, so I cut dairy out, but then it kept happening. So I'm like, there has to be something else in my diet that's not gelling with my stomach. You know what I mean? Like, it's really giving me a hard time right now. And so I was like, okay, well, I got to figure out what's going on. So it started to get progressively worse. I would get anxiety. When I say I would get anxiety, and anxiety builds when you don't know at any moment what your stomach going to do after you eat. That can be nerve-wracking. Like, you don't know if you're going to be sitting here like, hey, we're good. And then your stomach is like, get to a restroom ASAP. You know what I mean? And then you're in the restroom like, oh my God, I can't take it. Who wants to deal? Like, seriously, who wants to deal? And so that's kind of what I was going through. Hopefully this ain't rubbing all up on my skin or whatever. These bugs, child, need to go on and get. Like, who wants to sit there and go through that? So, you know, I'm just like, I don't really know. Like, something has to give. Something is wrong. Something is going on, and I have to find out what it is. I have to identify what it is because I can't continue to go this way. So I went to my doctor, and I was talking to my primary care about what I was feeling. She did not mention I.B.S. She did not mention I.B.S. at all. She didn't bring it up. We didn't talk about it, none of that. So what she did do was put me on what's called a FODMAP diet, okay? And so FODMAP stands for, and some of these words are big, so just, okay. FODMAP, which is FODMAP, stands for fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyols, okay? And these are short-chain carbohydrates, which are sugars, that the small intestine absorbs poorly. So your small intestine doesn't do a good job with digesting these sugars, okay? Or absorbing these sugars. And so it causes digestive distress. So I'm like, okay, she put me on that FODMAP diet, and what I was supposed to do was remove all of those out of my, we're going to see if this microphone is good. I was supposed to remove all of those out of my diet, okay? And I was supposed to do that for 6 weeks. So I was supposed to look up everything that I was eating that had those in it, take it out of my diet and replace it and put myself on the FODMAP diet. So she gave me the FODMAP diet. Did that for 6 weeks. And then after the 6 weeks, I was supposed to gradually, one by one, reintroduce those things into my diet, okay? So that's what I did. I did not make it the full 6 weeks. I'm be honest with you, I went maybe like 4 weeks. over like 4 weeks, and I started to ease things back into my diet. Once I started to do that, I realized not only was dairy my issue, but broccoli was my issue. My favorite fruit, y'all, my favorite fruit, which is watermelon. Watermelon, I would eat it all the time, and I would always get bloated, always be gaseous. Watermelon was an issue, so I have not had watermelon in I don't know how long, and my parents just brought some the other day, and I saw it in the fridge, and I was like, I'm not doing it because I would just much rather not have to deal with the pain. So it was so many different things that I was eating. I could not do cabbage. I was eating cabbage a lot. Cabbage was doing it to me. Like, it was a lot that started to cause distresses in my body, and I would be so uncomfortable. Like, and when I say not only does it give you anxiety, but the fatigue, because honestly, and this is not anything that my doctor told me, this is not anything that I've researched, this is me from basically what I remember feeling. When I would eat those things and it would go like in my system, I would feel like my body was working overtime to try to digest it. So because of that, I was so tired all the time. I was drained all the time. And I'm like, that's not something that I'm really like, I have too much to do in life to always be drained and wanting to be in bed like, oh, uncomfortable and all of that kind of stuff. Like, it's just not for me. So after I did that, I went back to my primary care about maybe a few weeks ago. Was it in May? Either in April or May, I went to go to my primary care, and I was telling her, the results of everything, how everything went. Long story short, she came out and said, yeah, you have I.B.S. and we want to get you to a gastrointestinal doctor and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, let's do it, because at the end of the day, I want to be better. I want to be healthier. I want to do better. So those of you who may be dealing with it, and you may be dealing with some stomach issues, and you're kind of like, you don't really know what it is, and you can't really find out, like what you may be dealing with. If you have some of these symptoms like I had, this could be an issue for you. I'm not a doctor. I am not a nurse. I am not anything in the medical profession. I'm just talking about my personal experience in hopes to help somebody else navigate through theirs. So you can deal with pain in your abdomen, right? And it can be reoccurring. You have change in bowel habits, which is constipation, diarrhea, or your inability to empty your bowels. You can have indigestion. You can have nausea, which, yes, I will get nauseous a lot. You can have passing excessive amounts of gas, which, yes, I burp so much that at one point I was nervous. I was like, is it going to build acid in my throat? Like, what's really going on? Like, I would burp just like a ridiculous amount of times. And I would also like sometimes my burps are hiccups. So it's like, it'll be like like kind of a burp, but it's releasing gas, but also I'm hiccuping at the same time, so it sounds weird. So that started happening to me, and I was like, that's strange, but yeah, that's a part of that. Or an urgent need to use the restroom, okay? Abdominal cramping or discomfort. And then also things that are common with it is anxiety, depression, discomfort, loss of appetite, fatigue, and your symptoms are alleviated by using the restroom. And I think that this is another thing that's important to note, because if you have I.B.S. and you go and use the restroom, but your symptoms aren't relieved, like you find no relief, there could be an underlying issue for you. You know what I mean? Because I go through all of that and I have all of those pains and I have all of those issues. However, once I do use the restroom, I kind of do start to feel better. So I would say in this regard, if you find yourself having these symptoms, but using the restroom doesn't work for you, I am not at the stage of needing medication or counseling. Maybe you might need to investigate something deeper, something further. You may actually need an exam. I'm not sure. But for me, mine, usually does alleviate. But it's just, for me, the unexpected, unsure of what's going to happen. So, so that's what the symptoms are. That's what made me initially realize that something was wrong and working with my primary care physician. And so where am I at in my process now? Okay. Now I'm in the place of discovering foods that work for me, trying to find alternatives. So one of my friends, hey Gwen, I love you, sister. She is allergic to dairy. She can't have dairy. Dairy does terrible for her. So she has completely taken it out of her diet. Now for me, it seems like such a hard thing to do because like I told y'all, I was the young girl standing at the fridge eating cheese, eating butter. I loved yogurt. I'm eating all the ice cream and the mac and cheese when it's made. So it's hard for me to just up and go like a complete, X out of all things dairy. But I'm going to sit down and I'm going to talk with her because she has completely taken it out of her diet. And she says that it's a great thing. She has found alternatives. So that's what I am looking for now, alternatives. When it comes to milk, I already don't do milk at all. Milk actually is the worst thing for my body. Like if I eat a piece of cheese, okay, I'm going to feel it, but the effects may not come until like days later, and it may not be as bad if I eat a slice of cheese. If I eat some ice cream, yeah, I'm going to feel it. No doubt about it, I'm going to feel it. But milk itself, if I eat a bowl of cereal, if I eat chocolate milk, if I do milk at all, it's almost an immediate disruption of my system. Like the disruption is immediate and the relief is going to take a minute to get there. Like it's going to take a while for the relief to kick in. So I just don't do any milk at all. So I have switched to almond milk and oat milk. Coconut milk, maybe possibly, but definitely almond milk, definitely coconut milk. But like I've also found non-dairy alternatives to ice cream. So of course I eat more sherbets and sorbet type of ice creams. And I found some non-dairy products. So Ben and Jerry's, shout out to Ben and Jerry. Woot, woot, okay. Ben and Jerry's, they have a non-dairy line, but I will say this, you got to be careful. I'm going to get into, you see my stomach, I showed y'all my stomach, I'm going to get into that in a second. You still have to be careful. So there's just one non-dairy that I will stick to, and that's the strawberry cheesecake. It's not really, of course, milk. It's not dairy. They use alternatives and substitutions. So that one has worked well. I just tried the Ava DuVernay. No. No. And okay, I'll get into that in a second. It's very, very good. The taste of it is excellent. But I'm going to tell you what happened to me yesterday that just has me like everything that I ate yesterday, I will no longer put in my diet. Let's talk about it. So, it can become a lot when it comes to having to remove foods that you love. I love broccoli. I love broccoli. I love broccoli, but I can no longer eat broccoli. I love grapes, but I can no longer eat the red grapes. The red grapes tear my stomach up. And it just it makes me extremely bloated. So there are two types of, hopefully I don't sound like I'm all over the place. So one, it either bloats me up and gives me really bad gas, and it's like that for some days, or it makes me have to go to the restroom, okay? So those are the two types of things that happen. I don't like either one of them because honestly, at least having to use the bathroom, although it may come unexpected, you can do it and then get it over with. But with the bloating and the gas, it makes my clothing fit weird. It is uncomfortable, so I'm uncomfortable for days. And it honestly makes me the most tired when I'm bloated. It makes me the most tired. I feel the most unhealthy. So I don't like doing either one of them. So anything that triggers either one of those, I try to stay away from. But yeah, broccoli, love broccoli, had to get rid of that. So it can prove difficult in the beginning of getting rid of foods that you genuinely love. Like that you're just like, oh my gosh, I really, really enjoy that. But you have to kind of weigh the pros and cons. Would you rather eat that and have a temporary satisfaction or hours or days of uncomfortability? Like, would you rather, like hours or days of uncomfortability with this small moment of satisfaction, or just eating an alternative and finding something else that works and agrees with your body? I would much rather have this one. Like that little moment of satisfaction and gratification is not worth it compared to the moments, the hours, the days of agony that I had to spend because I just wanted that food. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yeah, that's that on that. So I'm currently in the place again of finding what does work for me and what doesn't work for me. So let's talk. I'm going to insert a picture of some spring rolls that I ate yesterday. I'm put it right there. Absolutely not. Absolutely never again. Y'all, so my mother, she brought those spring rolls. Don't remember where she got them from, but she ain't got to ever worry about getting them for me again. So she tasted it and she said she didn't really like them. But I was like, you know what? Yesterday I was like, let me just try them out. My slow stuff. I cooked 5 of them Jim Boys. Like, what you throwing making 5 of them Jimmies? Like, why you thought that you should have did that? Then it came with this sauce, this teriyaki sauce. And long story short, I hadn't tested any of that. Like, I just went straight full-blown ham on them 5 spring rolls. Then I ate some Ava DuVernay ice cream. Now, I had the ice cream for 2 days. It was like the small little Ben& Jerry's thing. And so the first day that I ate it, I was fine. I didn't have any issues, right? So that's why I'm reluctant to say that it was the ice cream, because it was non-dairy from Ben& Jerry's. Woot, woot. It was non-dairy. And the first night that I ate it, I was fine. I didn't have any issues. But yesterday was criminal activity. I'm in bed and my stomach started to do woo, woo, woo. Like, it started to, like, baby girl. So I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, y'all. I'm in the bathroom like, God, help me, help me, help me. Like, it was criminal activity. Like, it was criminal activity to the point where I started getting the shakes. And usually when it gets like a lot for my body is trying to process everything that's going on with it. I start to kind of get the trembles. So I knew that it was something going on up in my stomach. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to tell y'all, let me sidetrack, because another symptom that I had from this I.B.S, which is about to sound so crazy, but I gotta tell it to y'all. I would get this sharp shooting pain from my bottom. Like, it would go from here to my bottom. Okay. I would get a sharp shooting pain. After I ate, it would be a sharp shooting pain. It would go, and it would have me go, ooh, like anywhere I was sitting. It would be horrible. So if you have a shooting pain from here to your bottom, you need to go ahead and check that out, honey, because you can have I.B.S. That pain would be so bad. But anyway, moving on. So when I started shaking, I knew. Then I got nauseous. I was like, oh gosh, this is about to be a whole experience. Like, I knew, and then my heart started beating really fast. So once all of that started happening, I knew it was about to be an experience, y'all. Like, I'm learning my body. I'm getting to know my body well. So I know that when that happens, it's about to be an experience, like, for real. And it was an experience, like multiple breaks to the bathroom and just like in agony and in pain. The bugs, child. In agony and in pain. Like, it was just a miserable experience. And so now that was yesterday. Ever since I went to the restroom the last time that I went, I've been okay. But my stomach is still bloated, as you can see. I am not with child at all. There's not even a possibility or a chance. So, yeah, that is the result of what I ate yesterday, having an effect on me physically. And I might even need to, should I stand up and show y'all? Y'all were able to see it. Y'all can see it. So that's that on that. And, so yeah, it's something that I'm currently, so now I know that anything that I ate yesterday, I'm not bringing back to my schedule. I'm sorry, Ava, I love you, girl, you my girl, but you just so happen to be something that I can't eat. Because anything that I ate yesterday, from the spring rolls to that ice cream, I can't do it. And I think those were the only 2 things that I ate. Because after that spring roll, I was like, I'm not putting nothing else on my stomach. I'm going to let come out what needs to come out, and I'm going to call it a day. You understand what I'm saying? And because so much anxiety came around, if I eat this, what's going to happen? If I eat that, what's going to happen? I started to not eat. and this is one thing that I will say, which is why I think that it is going to be so important that if you are dealing with IBS to, work with your gastrointestinal doctor, work with your primary care, do your research, because that's what I'm really doing right now is a lot of research on this. Do your research to find out what foods work best for you, because I was in a place where I wasn't sure which foods worked good and what didn't. I just stopped eating altogether. Like, I was at a point where I would eat one meal a day because I just wasn't sure what was going on with my stomach, and that is not healthy, because with having this, you should be eating 3 times a day. You just have to be mindful of what you eat and how much you eat. And also getting to the point of, you don't realize how many things play into another. Like, for instance, the digestion of your food, you ensuring that you're chewing your food properly, right? Making sure that, you are chewing it and eating slowly helps when it goes down for it to digest even better, because your saliva is already trying to break down the enzymes and all that in the food, so that when it goes down to digest, it gets easier. A lot of times we don't know how much one thing plays into another. I used to scoff my food down all the time, but now I'm trying to be more mindful, even of how I eat my food, so that I am having that the digestion of my food and all of that is not a long process and is not uncomfortable. You understand what I'm saying? So these are just some things. Let me just make sure that I went over everything I want to do for the first initial video. So that's another thing that that I will be bringing to this channel, because when you are stewarding life well, that means health-wise, that means faith-wise, that means emotionally, mentally, financially, all the things, right? So my Steward Well Budgeting channel handles the financial piece of it, but Steward Well Living will handle everything else of it. So that means that I'm coming to you all, talking to you all about the health things, the health journey that I'm on. So right now I am going over what foods would be best for me to eat, so that I am not having horrible experiences with food. I want to develop a healthy relationship with food again, because right now my relationship with food is not good. With that being said, I have decided, and I'm going to talk about this more on my budgeting channel, that I will no longer be using DoorDash. I will no longer be using DoorDash because I'm using it and I'm buying foods that may not necessarily agree with me or may not be the best for my situation. So instead of doing DoorDash, and that's usually how I'm eating out, I rarely ever go out and actually walk into a store and pay money. It's usually through DoorDash. So it's going to, I think, help me financially in the sense of I'm not paying all them extra fees. I'm saving some money in my pocket, but also it'll help me this wise, that I'll be able to take that money that I'm spending, that I'm saving, and put it towards groceries, that I can actually have healthy alternatives to foods that I can eat. Okay. This morning when I woke up, I did have eggs without cheese. My mother made them sunny side up for me. I had pork sausage and an egg McMuffin. My stomach feels fine now. I don't have anything going on. I do know, like, the way that I'm feeling, I know that soon I'm going to have to go and use the restroom, but I think that that's natural. But as far as the feeling of uncomfortability or irritability or anything like that, I don't have that right now. So everything that I've eaten today, I'm good with. Here's one thing that I will recommend. I will recommend this, especially if you're going to go see a gastroenterologist, or if you're going to even go to your primary care, or if it's just for you, right? I will say keep a food diary, okay? Get you a notebook or whatever. Keep it on your person at all times, so that when you eat, you can write down what you have eaten. And the way that I'm setting my food diary up, and I'll show you this in a later video at a later time, is, of course I'm going to have the daily tracking, but I'm also going to leave room for like 30 minutes. How am I feeling 30 minutes after I ate that? Excuse me. How am I feeling 30 minutes after I ate that food? Am I gassy? Do I feel irritable? Am I feeling any symptoms related to IBS after eating this meal? Because I want to make sure that I am taking out the foods that I should not have, and keeping in foods that I enjoy that don't cause me an issue. So everything that I ate this morning, the eggs, the egg McMuffin, and the sausage, all of them are working fine with my body. It's been about an hour. It's been more than that, actually, maybe like 2 or 3 hours. And all of that is fine now. So yeah, it's been 30 minutes. I'm gonna wrap this video up here, but keep yourself a food diary, a food journal, so you can know what you're eating and the effects that it has on you, so you can know whether or not you want to keep it in your diet or take it out of your diet. Okay? Yeah. So that's all that I have to say about this. I will be bringing more content because you all are going to go with me on my journey to trying to master this, trying to find what food works for me, getting to a better in a healthier place. You're going to go grocery shopping with me. You're going to go meal planning with me. You're going to do all those things. I'm also going on a health and fitness journey. So I do have an exercise bike here. So between here and the Y membership that I have, I will be doing some exercises, but I'm most likely probably try to do them here because at the Y I can't record, and I want to take you all on that journey with me. So yeah, so that's all that I have to say. I hope that you all have enjoyed this video and that you all have a wonderful day. If you can relate to anything that I'm going here, feel free to stick around, that I'm talking about here. Feel free to stick around because this will be a safe hub for all of us. And maybe you don't struggle with IBS, but you struggle with another health condition or something else that you're trying to work through. Feel free. Let's chat about it in the comments. Maybe something that you don't deal with IBS, but you've just been on a healthier food journey. If you have some healthy alternatives, let me know. I'm currently in the process of trying to find fruits that are good for me, because having to give up watermelon and grapes, which were my 2 favorite, is kind of difficult. So, yeah. That's that on that. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you all the next time. And you all have a wonderful week. God bless you.